فبالله كم تستطب القروح ويبرأ جرح الكسير.
Bismillah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, and welcome back to my YouTube channel, Navila. And today I want to do my test about the most memorable day for me. And before that, I want to introduce myself first. My name is Navila, and I'm from 8A. So, the most memorable thing for me was when I lost someone who had just wished me a happy birthday. That was my grandmother from my mother's side. And for you guys' information, I she's the last, but this grandmother, she's the last of my grandparents that passed away. So when so when I still alive, I mean when she's still alive, I always close with her. So I like her. Sad because that. And just continue for the story. So the story is that I was on the phone with my friend. I video call with my friend. I tell story about something. I laughing with her and I joking with her. I'm not thinking about anything in that time because it was almost time to fast. We talk about anything we could think of at that moment. Suddenly, there was a commotion outside. My mother started panicking. My father rushed to the room. My younger sister was crying. And for your guys' information too, so my big sister is in boarding school, so she not in home in that time. So I'm in when I heard that crying, my sister crying, I immediately opened the window and I asked to her, "What's wrong? Why are you crying?" And my sister said, "My grandmother has passed away." I quickly closed the window and hung up the phone with my friend. I started crying uncontrollably. I was told to pack immediately to go to Yogyakarta. But before that, we, my family, take, pick up my sister who was in boarding. Then my aunt, who usually helps me, come to the house and help take care of it. I kept getting calls from my father's sibling, telling me to be patient. On the way, I immediately contacted my teacher, who at that time, when I was in fourth grade, had just finished the COVID pandemic. I could only look at the road at the time, and there was one song that I still remember today. The song was written by Itkit and is titled Takut Tambah Dewasa, or in English we say Afraid to Grow Up. Yes, in that time, the song is played with on radio. In that time, that's really like, oh my god, I already not have grandparents anymore. I really cry again. When I was arrived in Yogyakarta, I met my extended family. I could hardly believe it. I see, I see my grandmother lying in the bed. I hugged my own. I hugged my cousin, crying in that time. And then when I see my grandmother's sister, who looks just like my grandmother, make me almost unable to believe that. my grandmother had passed away. I think she's my grandmother. My grandmother is still alive. But no, she already passed away. And that time, it's still night. So we cannot go to the grave. So we go to the grave in the morning. The next day, or in the morning, our family had a breakfast with satay. And there was one thing that my grandmother always say, which was to break the satay stick. Until now, until I'm in Ireland, I still do that. If I buy a satay, after we go to the funeral, do, do the, after we go to the grave, it felt lonely. But our family called only patient. Many people still offered their condolences to us. I stayed in Yogyakarta for a few days, and one on the first day of Ramadan, or the few days after my grandmother passed away, we ended we ended up canceling our train ticket to Yogyakarta because there was no to accompany us there. Actually, my sister and I plan to return to our hometown or Yogyakarta by train. But since my grandmother passed away, we cannot go. So that's already from I think 4 or 3 years ago. I like little bit sad because her, but I just called to be patient. Yes, that's already past. But and then I think that's all from me. Sorry if I made many mistakes when I was speak. So last I say wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Goodbye guys.
فبالله كم تستطب القروح ويبرأ جرح الكسير الجريح